Honestly, it's hard to just go back and go like, here's what I like here, here's what I like here. Because a lot of time when I say here's what I like here, it's just a shot. In the finale, when the Indoraptors are going after Bryce Dallas Howard, Chris Pratt, and Clone Girl, and then there's this one shot where Chris Pratt's trying to go for a gun, and then Bryce Dallas Howard pulls him back, and then the camera like pans up, and you see the dinosaurs like on top. Like, that's cool. But I'm not gonna do a whole spoiler talk describing shots to you guys the whole time, you know?
And this one image where the dinosaur's laying down but the floor's lit up, so it like, looks really beautiful.
Yeah, that'd be the only like highlight parts I'm really talking about.
And the part where the T-Rex comes out, roars at a lion, and roars back.
Yeah, like, oh, that's a pretty cool image right there.
Two different kings of the animal kingdom.
Hey Reject Nation, I'm Greg Alba.
I'm John.
And I'm the real Mr. Robinson.
The real Mr. Robertson. Robinson?
Robinson.
Robertson?
We had a whole
Robinson?
session about this.
Robertson.
God damn it, Greg.
Alex Robinson?
Yes.
The real Mr. Robertson is here. We are going to do a review, a spoiler talk of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom because of the fact that the trailers reveal about 98.9% of the movie. Might as well just do a spoiler review of the film for you guys. Before going into this review, I wanted to say a quick thank you to Mediamation for their MX4D experience because they hooked us up with screening tickets at the Man's Chinese Theater for their MX4D. I gotta tell you, opinion aside on the movie, the experience of the MX4D, especially with the opening sequence of this film, made it that much better, like a million times better.
Oh yeah, the motion effects, the rain effects, the fog effects, like it was really immersive.
It was very immersive, and it does add this kind of extra roller coaster feel to a movie that's already attempting to do that for you. Thank you guys so much for hooking us up. If you guys want to experience a cool 4DX experience, MX4D, you can catch it at the Man's Chinese Theater. It's totally worth it. In the first like 10 minutes of this movie, you can hear everyone letting out emotion over the experience of it. It was really well worth it.
I guess I'll have to do that myself, because the whole time I'm just sitting here like, I was a part of it.
Yeah. Sorry, Mr. Robertson. It's gonna fluctuate the entire time. Yeah. But anyway, let's hop into our review of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. We're gonna treat this spoiler review in a way where you have already seen it. I know sometimes when people do spoiler reviews, they try talking in a way as if they're gonna, you know, ruin a movie for you and like setting up plots. And we're not gonna talk that way for you guys. We're gonna talk as if you have already seen it. Just a real conversation with you guys. Alex, you can catch his non-spoiler review over on his actual channel. I guess we'll just give our super quick thoughts before hopping into the spoiler discussion. I thought this movie, other than the awesome 4DX experience, I was looking at going, what's better, Jurassic Park 3 or Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom? I felt Jurassic Park 3 is more boring, but I feel like this one is a lot more irritating. I was surprised by how irritated I was. Most of the time I was watching it, I wouldn't say I was bored. A lot of people say they get bored. You said you got bored a lot.
It took a long time to grab me with much of anything.
I was more entertained by how baffled I was, especially in the last half of this movie. There's already stuff in the first half that is better than the last half, but the last half especially had me going, what? Why? I don't get it. Why is this in the movie?
Yeah, I
came up with this.
Like, I was visibly like face palming myself, just looking down at the screen with my hands covered, like I didn't want to be in this theater with a bunch of people around me who are loving it. Some of them I actually work with.
There were times where I think our whole group would just throw our hands up in the air. It's like, what's going on? Why are they I think what makes this film so much different than Jurassic World, because I know you're not a fan of Jurassic World.
I don't hate it, but it's a mixed bag.
It's a mixed bag, and I know you pretty much feel that way. I felt like, hey, I know Jurassic World ain't no Jurassic Park. It's cheesy, it's corny, it's ridiculous, and there's some stupid characters in it. But I still feel like Colin Trevorrow's direction, he knew what he was making.
And that movie has fun with its dinosaur stuff.
That's the thing, is it knows what it is. It knows its tone. It's consistent with its tone. I am a million times more forgiving with everything in that movie as just a pure piece of entertainment cheese thrill ride with some, two-dimensional characters, a terrible villain of Vincent D'Onofrio. It all just makes me laugh, but I feel like the movie knew what it was and what it was doing. This movie has this dour tone. It is arguably the most depressing Jurassic Park movie ever. And
This
so
is the BVS of Jurassic Park. It is, because it also bothers to bring up a lot of great concepts about ethics and whatnot and science and chaos, and it doesn't do anything with any of them.
And it tries to be different by taking it off the island. So there's a lot of stuff that on paper, in idea format, that I'm like, I appreciate that. I'm glad you decided to do that. But they never fully meet it.
For me, the problem with a movie like this is, we rewatched the first Jurassic Park, and that's already an iffy idea. Just bringing dinosaurs back. The whole point of that movie is
Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
should you have done this even if you could? And looking at it now,
No.
No, yeah, it only worked then because it just gets more stupid as we go. It's like, no, we shouldn't be doing any of this.
A lot of these complaints, especially about villains and choices and rules of human, anatomy in certain situations, like Chris Pratt outrunning smoke.
It just goes so far beyond the suspension of disbelief by this point.
Beyond that, it's because of its tone that it's striking, of why it's harder to forgive it. When the movie itself is clear, like you have a comic relief character, sure. But beyond that, it's trying to convey a serious movie. It's trying to have a serious tone. And then it gets all these dour heaviness. It's a dark film in a weird, cheesy way. Yeah.
Never for the best.
I guess to get some positives out of the way, like the general positives that I think everyone's gonna fucking tell you.
The opening.
The opening's great. It's a cool opening sequence. The trailers literally show you everything. The T-Rex is going after that guy who's swinging off the rope ladder on the helicopter. And then it's a cool moment. And the way it's done is like a spooky monster film. The way they deal with lightning, the T-Rex appearing in the background. And it is tense. It is suspenseful.
Even if people forgot that if you stand still, she won't see you.
Keep absolutely still. Suspicion's based on movement.
Always forget that. The Mosasaurus appears, and it would have been cooler if the trailers didn't show you that. But the trailers show you that, and then it comes and kills. And that's a really cool sequence. And the way it's executed has you going, oh, this might be just an actual cool, like, spooky, fun thrill ride with dinosaurs. And then the movie kind of just begins.
And that's where it all goes downhill.
One thing I like about this movie that I thought they actually improved upon, and this is a very slight thing, is Bryce Dallas Howard, specifically her. And even the chemistry between Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt. To me, they're like the new 50 Shades of Grey. where you're like, man, they have no chemistry in the first one. And then you watch the sequel, you're like, their chemistry's better. Bryce Dallas Howard's a character who I don't hate this time around, and I actually get where she's coming from in this film. There's like that kind of, what's the word for it, where you got like the guilt conscience thing, you're trying to repair that by trying to help out.
Trying to make amends, basically, for the events of the first movie.
The dinosaurs from the island, there's apparently a volcano there that nobody ever thought about.
They built Jurassic World.
They built Jurassic Park there.
To be fair, watching it a second time, because I've seen it twice, they said it was dormant, so there's
so
that.
It woke up.
Yeah,
All right.
like conveniently 3 years after Jurassic World closed. I'll give them that reluctantly.
So the movie is dealing with this theme of should these clone animals, should we let them live? Should we have to intervene and actually help them out with surviving, or should we just let them go back into extinction? Bryce Dallas Howard recruits her ex-boyfriend, because I love when sequels do that. They're broken up at the very beginning of the movie.
Because the key to their romance is life-threatening dinosaur action.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about this movie that I realized? It has the same exact arc with their relationship as the first one.
Yeah,
It does.
ends
Even
on
the
same
kiss.
note. Yeah.
Even the random kiss moment where you're like, it's kind of more effective here.
That's what gets these two people off, is this exact kind of situation.
Yeah.
And when they get back to normal life, they just split up again. For me, Jurassic World, I liked the dinosaur stuff and the adventure. I didn't like the characters. And I will say that in this movie, I liked Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard a lot more, and I did like the addition of both the tech guy and the vet.
You see, I really felt like the tech guy and the vet could have been combined. The tech guy kind of unnecessary for me because of the fact that I felt 90% of his jokes just didn't land, and it kind of felt like forced comic relief.
But I didn't think that was the actor's fault. I guess I enjoyed watching his performance. He was one of the people I was happy to see on screen, even though I do agree the comedy didn't click.
But see, I thought the vet girl worked really well though for the movie.
Yeah, she felt like the most real person.
She was probably the best addition in terms of characters. Like, she's not in the movie a hell of a lot, but she's one of the more real characters. She felt very real. Like, whenever she's standing up for the dinosaur, whatever situation she's in, or is being a tough cookie, I really bought her. And Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt, they have the same fucking setup as they do in the first one. Of she needs to go find something with this dinosaur. We need Chris Pratt's help. Even when they reunite, I'm like, this is the exact... He's working on something.
He's in a bungalow in a remote location. They have an awkward exchange.
But when they go to sit down and have beers, I actually bought their chemistry. I actually believe you guys have a history. And it took me for a loop to be like, I'm buying what's going on with you two actually right now. So even when they have their kiss moment, I bought it a little more. It still felt a little bit like Jurassic World where... Jesus. But I bought it more.
Yeah, in Jurassic World, it felt like Chris Pratt going, give me some sugar, baby.
Yeah, they go to the island. And honestly, when they're at the island, that's probably the best part of the movie. To me, the best part of Jurassic World and this one is my favorite character is Blue. How do you feel about Blue?
To be honest, I don't see her as a character. She's just a velociraptor.
I think the character comes in the dynamic between Chris Pratt and Blue. That's when I'm gravitated towards Blue, is when they're like, here, does the whole click hand thing.
Although I feel like the dynamic's different because in the first Jurassic World she's very feisty, she doesn't listen a whole lot, whereas in this movie they established that she's the kindest one, she's the most obedient one. That's not at all what I remember from the fourth movie, guys.
Yeah, I don't really care. With Jay Bayona, like the director of this film, he has background films like, he did The Impossible, right?
The Impossible
and Monster Calls.
Yeah, and then he did The Orphanage.
The Orphanage, yeah. So he has a horror movie background dealing with disasters and monsters, and that all really reflects in the entire island sequence with the volcano erupting, and there's a lot of fun moments to be had there. Damn, do these trailers spoil the hell out of that. Yeah. But right from when Chris Pratt shows up with Blue, and I do like the chemistry between Blue and Chris Pratt, especially when he's like looking at the laptop, and you said it best when the movie was over. The one thing this movie really succeeds on is the moments where they want you to go, aww, when you're
the
feeling...
weirdest flavor for Jurassic Park.
Yeah, when you're feeling bad for the dinosaurs, or when you want to think these things are cute, that's all really effective. And then sometimes it's kind of manipulative to me. When they first show up to the island, and then they got the long neck bronchitis dinosaur. It's going back to, like when Sam Neill and Jeff Goldblum and Laura Dern saw that same dinosaur in part 1. And it's such a, remember Jurassic Park 1?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that in this movie. Remember when Jurassic Park was a good movie?
Remember when this series had integrity?
Yeah. And in that moment, it's doing this thing of wonder, and I feel like this movie's so mismatched in tones. You got two different movies here, and I know we're kind of all over the place here.
Because this movie's all over the place.
This movie's all over the place. You got one movie that's talking about animal clones and animal rights. And should we let these animals go extinct? Should we take care of them? Where do dinosaurs live amongst us? This other movie is, dinosaurs are freaking terrifying. They're freaking monsters. They're spooky and evil,
And we need to auction them off to the 1%.
that are trying to blend, but not really doing it. But you got your wonder dinosaur here. And then after the island is covered in lava and all the dinosaurs are dying, they have this shot that is so sad and it's effective when the long-necked dinosaur somehow makes it to the pier.
Yeah. And can't
rearing
swim.
up on its hind legs.
And then it's just getting covered by the smoke and they're watching it. And I was going, oh, that's so sad. The other side of my mind was like, fuck you, movie. That's manipulative. There's something about it where I just
You don't want to literally watch the wonder die before your very eyes. Give way to this cold, like, nasty monster movie afterwards.
But at the same time, it's kind of one of these things where it's like, maybe this is for the good that this dinosaur dies. Ian Malcolm's in this movie for 7 minutes, or maybe less.
He shot for 7 minutes.
He shot for 7 minutes. He was in it for less. He pretty much says this volcano erupting is nature correcting its course, so we should just let them die.
Which could have been an interesting debate had the movie bothered to have it.
There's one moment that, despite the movie's uneven tone, that actually kind of made me legitimately laugh. Chris Pratt gets darted by the drugs that, like, kind of put you out.
Yeah, what he's trying to say, Blue.
He's unable to move, and then there's a bunch of lava coming in, devouring everything, scaring off a Syntoceratops. I know these things, sadly. And he's just doing the Wolf of Wall Street where he's trying to roll away.
Yeah, that was genuinely funny.
Yeah.
What keeps this movie engaging and entertaining is that throughout the film, from beginning to end, there'll always be a moment or a little sequence or a shot even that is really cool.
This movie is filled with beautiful images.
Yeah, it's one of the better looking ones, I think. And that's the only reason why I would kind of prefer it over Jurassic Park 3, is because I still think it has a style in its imagery.
I could give you that.
I think this was the wrong script for J.A. Bayona and what he's good at, but I think he does bring an assuredness behind the camera at very least.
Yeah, because when the island's exploding, there was some stupid stuff that happens in it that I thought was kind of like silly in the trailer, but even dumber in the movie. When they're in the ball, whatever that sphere thing is, and they're rolling down, before they actually even get into the ball, that's when I thought a dumb moment occurred, where scary dinosaur occurs, and then they just start fighting with each other for no reason when everyone's running away.
And the T-Rex shows up.
And then the T-Rex shows up for no reason and goes, screw you!
The T-Rex shows up as quietly as possible. Nobody even sees it coming a mile away in an open field.
And then takes off. And it's
Yeah.
like, screw this, I'm out of here. I'm like, what'd you show up for?
Hey, everyone.
That shot of it roaring as the volcano's erupting behind it. After that, it just runs away.
Because it's another, remember Jurassic Park 1? That was a good movie, wasn't it? I hate anything that's like, remember Jurassic Park 1? Like when the T-Rex they bring back to the mansion and then there's a goat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do they think this is what the T-Rex ate? Or is it, remember Part 1? Huh?
Yeah.
He ate the goat.
Or when the T-Rex ate the one bad guy, she poses in the exact same pose as in Jurassic Park when the banner falls, and then she just runs away again.
Yeah.
This movies like this really serve as a reminder for the toxic side of homage and nostalgia to me, because if there's nothing beyond that at the core, it really does start to leave a sour taste.
Beyond that one moment, it's a pretty intense sequence, and it's heartbreaking when you're seeing all these dinosaurs dying and falling off the cliff. It reminded me a lot of what I saw in The Impossible. They're actually underwater, the sphere's filling up with water, and Chris Pratt's trying to break them up. You think shooting a gun at it is gonna do the trick?
Guns work in water?
Yeah.
I didn't think that was a thing.
Water can jam a gun.
This movie is a definition of just stupid decisions throughout. The second he shot, I was like, well, it's not going to break the glass. It's just going to fill with water faster, isn't it? And then sure enough, that's where it would happen. But I guess in a desperate situation, you're going to try something desperate. Beyond that one little moment, though, I thought it was really cool how he kept it pretty much in one shot. Chris Pratt's trying to break in. He swims up to the top to get some air. It comes back down, but they all keep it in the one sphere as it's filling up with water. Like, that's a cool sequence. That's a really cool moment. And then the movie like continues, you know?
It never ends.
Somehow there's like these expendable private military people who manage to go to this island that is clearly being covered by the world. They manage to steal dinosaurs and take them all the way back to whatever state we're in without anyone detecting this. Not one government official, not one radar thing, not one satellite thing. When the first 10 minutes of this movie, or after the prologue with the cool opening, sets up that the worldwide attention right now was all on this island, and there's clearly coverage happening, and the coverage of the film is also saying there's a volcano about to erupt. There's clearly cameras on this island right now.
Yeah, even like shitty Isla Sorna in Jurassic Park 3 had the Costa Rican government be on alert if anything was approaching it.
Yeah. And then here, somehow, they just managed to jack all these dinosaurs?
You get these villains in this movie that are basically the stock Jurassic Park villains by now, and that's a major issue to me. I feel like they need to get some fresh ideas.
I don't know. Calling them stock Jurassic Park villains is an insult to stock Jurassic Park villains, I feel.
You might be right, because, like, Rafe Spall shows up at the beginning as this, benevolent, financier, this guy who's taking over the mantle for the Hammond, institution and whatnot.
Yeah.
And you know right away this dude's gonna be evil. And then they meet this soldier guy on the island who seems pretty friendly, but he's gonna turn out to be evil. And not only are they evil to a stupid degree, but they're also just, like, despicable to the point that they don't even feel like characters at all. It's like you've got this hunter guy, like, pulling teeth out. Okay, clearly he's got no regard for these animals.
Yeah.
Like, we know the movie's gonna kill him horribly later.
Yeah, they turn into cartoons. Like, the only way villains like this in a live-action movie could have worked is if they were with the Muppets.
I finally started to latch on to this movie. The movie finally gave me something to hold on to towards the end when I realized, I hate most all the humans in this movie. All of them are dumb and despicable and one-dimensional. It really is, like, one-dimensional. So you want to see the dinosaurs kill them.
And I think the script even knows the humans are not good. It's not like a bad slasher movie where you're like, these characters are annoying, I want the killer to kill them. This movie is telling us the humans are bad people. We want the dinosaurs to, especially since there's so much sympathy for the dinosaurs. And then the humans you have zero sympathy for when you're watching the movie. They're going to James Cromwell's home.
Who literally does this entire role while sitting or in his bed.
Yeah. Okay, so there's this whole other plot line, but I just thought it was so dumb and unnecessary. Okay, James Cromwell, who is, I don't know, someone who knew John Hammond or whatever.
He was like his partner or something that we never knew about?
They're never very clear on that.
Yeah, they didn't really get along, and then he has a granddaughter because Jurassic Park needs a kid. There's the successor to all this who is the evil guy running everything. I had to ask you and my girlfriend, like, for a second, like, wait a minute, what are they doing? Because I thought it's what they were doing. I just had to confirm this is what they were doing because I just thought it was so dumb. So they're bringing back the dinosaurs. They got, like, what, 11 to 15 dinosaurs or whatever?
11
Something like that.
11 species. They're bringing back the dinosaurs. Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard are caught because apparently underneath this home, they have like a giant prison and lab too.
They have like a massive sub-basement.
And for some reason, James Cromwell's totally surprised when they find out about, how do you think you could get away with this? Because in your home, you have a prison.
Because you've got such a big estate that you don't even know how many rooms are in it.
Yeah, like that's why he thought he could get away with this.
Like, everything's happening under your nose now.
If they wrote in a line of dialogue where it's like he just bought the estate, then maybe. But even then, that's pushing it.
There's a lot in this movie that gets explained away with one line of dialogue.
Well, they try to do this whole human drama element. James Cromwell, the granddaughter, this guy, I don't even remember the character's name or the actor's name. The bad dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
Yeah. It was just so irrelevant. I'm like, I just don't care about this drama. I'd rather just stick to you being mustache twirly kind of villain who wants to... Here's where the movie wildly baffled me. Because I had two motivations with the dinosaurs. That's when I thought the script especially sucked. Why do they have two distinct motivations with the dinosaurs? To militarize them and to sell them to like rich evil guys or something? Why do you have both motivations in this movie?
I have no idea.
How do they coexist, these two motivations?
Well, and you never get to walk around inside of them, so we're never any the wiser, really. We just know that rich people want dinosaurs.
When they're actually auctioning off these dinosaurs, as an audience member, I was sitting there going, this is the definition of a stupid horror movie now. What's the worst kind of horror movie where you feel like you are a million times smarter than the characters in the movie? Mm-hmm. Because the entire time they're auctioning off, you're like, the people buying them are idiots, and the people selling them are idiots. How is this in any way a good idea for anyone. As an audience, you're watching going, this is just stupid. This isn't scary. This is stupid. And then I'm like, wait, why do they have this whole militarizing the dinosaur storyline?
Like, why did they bring it back? That was the one thing that I couldn't stand in the last movie.
Why they bring it back, and it doesn't even really serve a purpose here when they're saying they want to do it. Here's where I got especially annoyed. Henry Wu shows up, the evil doctor who was a good guy in the first Jurassic Park, and now they've made him the big Saw villain of this franchise. Yeah.
Always showing up at the end to collect his samples and run off to the next island or whatever.
When he showed up, this movie suddenly felt like the most expensive B movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Especially in his portrayal.
This is his paycheck.
Yeah. When they're auctioning off the dinosaurs, 20 million, 30 million, I'm like, okay.
50 million.
This is so stupid. This is so dumb. What are they gonna do with these dinosaurs? Gonna keep them in a cage? You can't have them run around. You can't pet these guys.
You gotta use an Allosaurus to play cricket.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah, we can control them to be like attack enemies. I'm like, well, you don't see people like fucking hire lions and shit. You know, what makes you think you can do this with a dinosaur? Then I thought the characters were especially dumb when the Indoraptor comes out. My first question is, if they're not planning on selling the Indoraptor,
Why show?
why are you displaying the Indoraptor to everyone? Then it made me question the entire point of Henry's character. He's okay with them selling the dinosaurs. And I'm like, why? Why is he okay with them selling? I could kind of get on board with him wanting to militarize them. But why is he okay with just like, yeah, rich Russian bad guy? Sure, you can have a fucking dinosaur.
And it had to be Russian.
Oh, there are subtle nods to the political landscape in here. He calls the one veterinarian girl a nasty woman at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't pick that up again until I saw it for the second time.
When the Indoraptor, people start bidding for it, and then Henry's like, what are you doing? It's just a prototype. Immediately, I'm thinking, who gives a shit if it's just a prototype? What do you think they're gonna do with the other dinosaurs? You think these other dinosaurs that are not prototypes are just gonna have under control? No! Prototype or not, none of these should be being sold right now. As the creator of these dinosaurs, how do you possibly think this is a good idea? And then what especially hit the nail for me was the fact of how this all goes to shit. Is because I'm sitting there as an audience member going, man, these guys are dumb. What fucks up everything for these humans? A little dinosaur who likes to headbutt people. Not even the scary, fucking terrifying dinosaur.
Like to headbutt people and stab them.
Just a little cute headbutting dinosaur.
All you need is a battering ram.
And that one little thing got loose and fucked everything up for everyone.
Well, that's the thing
And
about
I'm like,
dinosaurs is all it takes is one of any of them to fuck
so
up.
that's why I was like, why would you possibly sell any of these? No motivation in this movie made sense to me.
That's the only thing I could figure for that part is like these are probably a bunch of people who've never seen them before and don't know what they're dealing with, and that little headbutt dinosaur just gave them a taste.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the elephant in the room with the little clone girl for some reason?
Yes, thank you. Let's get into that. The little girl in the movies, not James Cromwell's granddaughter. It's apparently the clone of his daughter who was killed in a car wreck. Watching the movie for the first time, when they revealed that, that was the point where I just really, visibly next to a bunch of my friends / co-workers showed my frustration. Watching it a second time, you see all of these clues that lead up to the big reveal. Oh, did I look like my mother? Oh yes, you were a mirror image of her. And you're just like, screw all of you.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You're watching this movie about genetically altered dinosaurs and stuff like that, and then when they bring up like, oh, she might be a clone, it almost doesn't have an impact because there's just crazier science everywhere else.
You fucking brought back like the most, brought back things that are extinct.
You genetically engineered like a hodgepodge dinosaur to kill stuff. I'm a little more concerned, unless you're gonna tell me she's got raptor blood or something.
The way they reveal it, especially like the way they expositionally reveal it. And the guy's like, you don't even know what she is. And they have the wide eyes, like, what the fuck is this thing then? You know?
Just a little girl who's been cloned?
Just a little girl who's been I'm like, what? I don't care. They're saying this is where Hammond and James Cromwell had a falling out. I'm like, I don't even remember that line in the movie. Like, I don't care about this.
It really feels like a non sequitur of a twist. Like, let's just put something else here.
This is a whole other movie that I do not care to watch right now. Who gives a shit about this plot line? And the other thing I hate about this movie too is how non-subtle it is. It's just so beyond the point of subtlety from beginning to end. Even little things. I when I rewatched Jurassic Park, there was something about Dr. Hammond that I'm not sure was intentional, but I'm not sure it's intentional because maybe it was subtle. When I look at Dr. Hammond, and he kind of has this god complex about him, I love that he's all in white the whole movie, and he's got the white, like he looks like a traditional portrait of God, and he views himself as a godlike person for this journey.
And he has that warmth and that fatherly vibe.
Yeah, but not one point does he go, I'm fucking God.
Yeah. It's not maniacal.
There's one point in this movie where bad guy practically looks at Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard and goes, "You're Adam and you're Eve. It's your responsibility, right?" Yeah.
Your world. I felt like John McClane in this movie. You know, when he has that thing with Hans Gruber where he's like, really? It's just about money at the end of the day? Like, that's exactly how I started to feel about the villains. I was like, like, can we get for one of these Jurassic Parks a philosophy for a villain to have beyond just like, I'm gonna make a fortune, everybody? Get something better than that.
Indoraptor breaks loose in the dumbest way.
Oh yeah.
What? Okay, so military guy shows up. What the hell are you? And then tries darting it. I think you said right out loud, "Go in the cage." And the second he opens the cage, we start clapping. And like, this movie's so good. As stupid as his decision was to go in the cage, I liked the way the Indoraptor moment in that scene was actually handled. And when he opens his eyes and closes it.
Yeah.
And he kind of has
his tail.
Yeah, and he kind of has a smile on his face, like, I'm about to fucking eat your ass. I actually liked that moment. And then when he eats him, that was cool. It was kind of distracting how there was like zero blood. But it was cool, like the arms hanging off and he falls off. Like, that was a neat moment.
He dies a horrible death. Yeah,
and he freaking deserves it, man. The guy was who was set up for a horrible
death.
death.
His tooth out with like a plier.
Indoraptor breaks loose. Trailer reveals most of what happens from here on out in the movie. Literally, right when that happened, I told my girlfriend, like, oh, well, if you've seen the trailer, she's like, what happens? Well, little girl's gonna eventually go to her room, Indoraptor's gonna go in there, Chris Pratt's gonna, I told her all of this. Chris Pratt's gonna break in, he's gonna fail to take it down, then Blue's gonna show up.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I'm like, man, this trailer showing everything.
Everything except a couple bits in the middle. The beginning and the end,
that you just don't care about. The Indoraptor stuff is so, like, mixed in with what is cool. Like, there's some cool-ass shots with the Indoraptor, for sure. There was logical things about the Indoraptor that just didn't quite bode well for me. You could argue Jurassic Park has already done this before. These dinosaurs are fucking amazing at hunting down bad people. Like, the characters that deserve to die.
Yeah.
They're amazing. But when it comes to our heroes, they just, like, suck. Even the Indoraptor just sucks.
Yeah, for being the most intelligent and dangerous animal in the world, it is fucking stupid.
The only part I liked with it when it was going after our good guys was, oh, good, it landed its claw in Bryce Dallas Howard for a hot second.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was a thing.
At least that happened.
It was more like a poke.
But but even when they're going up the stairs, nah, I don't buy it. The Indoraptor would have at least slashed one of them easily would have just got one claw across them.
Yeah.
But Chris Pratt, the whole movie, whenever he's in contact with any dinosaur, it's just a little. It's him. Every scene is just, oh my god, T-Rex. Oh my god, this thing's licking me. Oh my god, Indoraptor.
Right up close to my face.
Yeah, what's this gun?
Not the money maker.
When the Indoraptor finally makes it outside, what happens when all these dinosaurs get outside? They fucking leave, right?
Yeah.
Screw this. I'm out of here.
Scattered.
There's a whole world out here.
Not
For some reason, the Indoraptor turns this movie into a full-blown universal horror movie. It literally reminded me of Benicio del Toro's The Wolfman at one point. When he goes up to the roof and it's raining and there's the moon. And he practically howls. Like, why is this the Wolfman now?
That's the twist I wish it was, where like the moon goes down and it's revealed that it is the little girl, and what happens is like she turns into the Indoraptor.
Don't give Colin Trevorrow any ideas.
And it was kind of an underwhelming moment too when they have the showdown at the roof. Like, I thought it was kind of clever when Bryce Dallas Howard miraculously shows up out of nowhere with the gun. Like, I know where they are. They're at the roof. Even though I'm like in a completely opposite side of this giant ass mansion right now.
This movie hides a lot of mechanics off camera.
And it only doesn't work because of its tone. That's the main thing I gotta keep coming back to, is its tone is not treated as a cheesy entertainment fest like Jurassic World is. This is treated in a way where it wants to be taken seriously. So she shows up, and I like how, okay, that's smart. They're gonna manipulate it, it'll fall through the glass, clever. And I thought it was cool that Indoraptor, like, doesn't fall through, actually.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that is pretty scary. The Indoraptor's actually just like,
This might not work.
This might not work. And then the obvious part, Blue shows up. And the only surprise of this movie to me was Blue didn't die. I thought Blue was gonna get hit with the spikes. So it's cool when she doesn't get killed. If I've called Blue he at any point during this review, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I forget that it doesn't have a penis and a vagina because they do a bunch of close-ups on it, don't they? Yeah. I love when Blue kills that Indoraptor. Because Blue takes like a 2-second look to be like, I'm fucking alive. Yeah! Woo!
There's no blood coming out.
Blue, baby! Blue! I'm fucking blue, man! Let's just talk about the ending of this movie now.
Ooh boy.
The one truly intriguing thing about it.
The ending of this movie, if it had occurred earlier, like I'm talking like Act 2, and then you get the movie in this plot, the movie has a surprisingly good hook for the next Jurassic World movie.
Yeah.
It does. Because I'm like, that seems like an interesting sci-fi film right there. Us living amongst dinosaurs? That sounds fucking crazy. That's like a war with dinosaurs. You might even get that like crazy.
Planet of the Dinosaurs.
You might even get that crazy plot movie where they were like, we'll strap guns to the raptors. Yeah.
Welcome to Jurassic World.
I hope not.
At this point, I'm like, fucking do it. I don't care anymore. The day before I watched this movie, I flat out called that ending. Because the trailers show you most of the movie, and then the trailers have the one shot that they show at the end, which pretty much tells you how this movie's going to end with the
The Mosasaurus.
There you go.
Eating some surfers.
That trailer moment goes, oh, the dinosaurs have all
They broke out.
they've broken
Yeah.
out. They're here on our lands now.
Yeah. Well, the fact that Ian Malcolm also says, "Welcome to Jurassic."
Yeah, and I think that's a cool, intriguing ending because they're all going their separate ways, and you know, like they might reproduce, there might be more of them, they might just kill a bunch of people. Because granted, it's only a few dinosaurs, but we know what one dinosaur can do. This could be a mass murder situation.
A lot of property damage at the very least.
Which what Jurassic Park 1 sets up is that
Life, finds a way.
for these creatures to reproduce, even if they don't intend on that.
Science.
Science.
Change their genders.
Freaking Henry Wu's probably gonna be like, I'm gonna make more of these, you know? I think that's a really cool setup for the movie. I still feel like the movie doesn't come to a clear understanding of what its message is. It sets up a debate, but the movie doesn't settle on which side it's on. It sets up, should these dinosaurs live amongst us? Should they not live amongst us? The whole finale of the movie is, fucking dinosaurs are terrifying as shit.
Yep.
And then they live amongst us.
They really bungle the ethics debate in this movie because they do just make them all, to a degree, look pretty monstrous.
Because even right before that finale, Bryce Dallas Howard's like, no, should I want them to live? The clone girl goes, they're just like me, you know?
They're alive.
Beep. Beep, yeah. So this is that part of the movie right before scary finale. Scary finale, heartfelt moment for dinosaurs. The back to scary ending right here.
Yeah.
When really what's at the core of that moment is a fascinating debate, because that's the conundrum Jurassic Park raises in and of itself. Is like, we created these things, they are alive, there are concerns for this, but we can't just let them out to destroy everything ostensibly.
Yeah.
What do we do?
Easy. You put them on another island that already has dinosaurs on board that apparently everyone else forgot exists.
Yeah, there's a whole like lost world, I believe. You guys can subscribe to the Reject Nation. Click that notification bell. Check us out on Patreon, full-length TV show reactions, weekly Q&As, music video coverage. The real Mr. Dobson over here. Go check out his channel.
Yeah.
It's fantastic stuff.
Real Mr. Robinson, checking me out on YouTube, Instagram, Stardust, any other form of social media you can find me on.
Yes. Alex Johnson, thanks for being here, buddy.
Glad to be back after 3 years reviewing another 5th movie.
Every part 5, you will be here.